Hey guys, Folded Legs here. Welcome back to the channel. Before we jump into today's video, do me a quick favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss a new upload. It only takes a second, but it helps us grow and keeps the community strong. Plus, it lets me know you're enjoying the content so I can keep bringing you even more. Alright, let's get started. Welcome to something new, something massive, and honestly, something a little terrifying. This is the beginning of my Attack on Titan deep dive series. Here's the deal. These aren't your quick surface level reviews. Nope, this series is all about going deep. Every week, I'll be breaking down episodes of Attack on Titan in detail, the themes, the characters, the brutal moments, the manga versus anime differences, everything. If you're looking for a place to relive the series, cry a little, laugh a little, and maybe scream in frustration at Titans all over again, you're in the right place. For this week, you're just getting this one massive breakdown. But starting next week, here's the schedule. Fridays, I'll keep posting reviews for new anime, the stuff that's current and fresh. That won't take me half a lifetime to cover. Saturdays, you'll get the Attack on Titan deep dive, continuing episode by episode, season by season, until we make it through the entire story. It's going to be a massive task, but it's also something I've wanted to do for a long time. Attack on Titan deserves this kind of treatment, and I hope you guys enjoy taking this journey with me. So grab your maneuver gear, hide your potatoes, and let's dive into one of the greatest anime of all time. Yes, there's gameplay in the background. No, it has absolutely nothing to do with what I'm about to say. It's just there, so you don't have to stare at my face for 16 minutes straight while we break down one of the most brutal and unforgettable anime openings of all time. Today we're starting something special, my review series of Attack on Titan, beginning with Season 1. And right away, we're diving into Episode 1, an episode so strong that even if you've never watched the show, you've probably seen the clips, the memes, or at least heard the music. It's one of those pilots that grabs you by the throat and doesn't let go. Manga versus anime, Episode 1. Here's something I always like to do at the start, compare the manga to the anime. And with Attack on Titan, the differences begin right here in Episode 1. In the manga, the story starts more abruptly. The pacing is tighter, sometimes even rushed, as if Hajime Azama wanted to throw readers into the horror without too much buildup. The artwork is rougher too, darker lines, less polish, and a raw, almost unsettling energy. When the Titans appear, they look less cinematic and more grotesque, like something out of a nightmare sketchbook. The anime, on the other hand, stretches Episode 1 out. It gives more time for the world building, the peaceful streets of Shiganshina, the quiet daily life behind the walls, the kids bickering in the fields. The animation from Wit Studios smooths everything out, adds atmosphere with light and shadow, and then of course amplifies the Titan reveal with thunder, lightning, and music that makes your skin crawl. The manga shocks you with brutality, but the anime builds suspense before punching you in the gut. Honestly, both approaches work, but the anime makes Episode 1 feel more like a film slow, careful build-up, then sudden catastrophe, and that's why it sticks so hard in people's memories. After the manga versus anime comparison, the episode zooms in on the kids, Iron, Mikasa, and Armin. And right away, you notice the dynamic. Ayn is fiery and stubborn, constantly ranting about the world outside the walls. Mikasa, his adoptive sister, plays bodyguard and mood stabilizer, like she's already trained to be his future babysitter. And then there's Armin, the quiet thinker, constantly bullied for being weak. Now, let me be real with you. Young N can be a lot. He's bratty, loud, and you get the sense that if he lived in our world, he'd be that kid arguing with his teacher about why homework is tyranny. And look, it annoyed me at first too. But I'll give the show credit. What's important? The brattiness sets the stage. Because when reality hits, when the Titans show up, you see just how fragile those childhood flaws really are. And oh boy, does reality hit hard. We finally see it, the colossal Titan, the first time anyone inside the walls lays eyes on one. It's a nightmare. This thing towers over the city, larger than life. Its skinless muscles steaming in the sunlight like some cursed anatomy model. He doesn't even have to say a word. Just his presence alone says, your walls, your safety, your peace, all of it was a lie. And then he kicks. That one brutal kick shatters the gate and changes everything. The ground shakes, the walls crumble, and the once peaceful town of Shiganshina turns into a horror show. For the characters, this is the first time they've ever truly seen a Titan, and it's worse than anything they imagined. And then the scene that still makes people cry 10 years later. Arn and Mikasa watch as their mother is trapped under rubble. A soldier tries to help, but it's hopeless. And then the Titan comes, slowly, deliberately, picks her up and devours her right in front of them. This isn't just gore for shock value, it's the moment that defines Arn Yeager forever. His mother is murdered right before his eyes, and he can't do a thing about it. Mikasa is forced to drag him away as he screams. That helplessness, that rage, is the fire that fuels everything in this story. And yes, I'll admit, it's dark. So dark that I had to pause and remind myself this show is rated TVMA for a reason. But humor helps sometimes, so let me just say, that Titan ate her like someone grabbing the last slice of pizza at a party. Brutal, horrifying, and completely unfair, but unforgettable. Quick question for you guys. Where were you the first time you saw this scene? Did you watch it alone, with friends? Or were you one of those people who got tricked into thinking Ahti was just an action show with big monsters? Let me know in the comments, because I can almost guarantee your first reaction was pure shock. Episode 2 picks up right where the nightmare left off. Shiganshina is in ruins, and the people who survive are left scrambling for their lives. It's chaos everywhere. Families torn apart, soldiers overwhelmed, and the walls, once thought to be impenetrable, suddenly feel like nothing more than paper doors. The anime really leans into the horror here. We get scenes of people crushed, eaten, screaming for help. It's not gore for the sake of gore. It's about showing us just how hopeless humanity is against Titans at this point. Remember, this is the first time most of these people have ever seen a Titan, let alone fought one. For them, it's like aliens landing out of nowhere and flattening your neighborhood. For Anne and Mikasa, the trauma from episode 1 is still raw. They're forced onto refugee boats, evacuated with what's left of the population, and taken deeper into the walls. That's where we really see the impact of this event. Refugees flooding into wall rows, overpopulation, food shortages, people in shock. The world of Attack on Titan doesn't let you escape the consequences. Every Titan attack ripples out like a stone dropped in water. And here's where I have to stop and admit, if you thought episode 1 was depressing, episode 2 is basically like the anime saying, oh, you thought it couldn't get worse? Bet. We watch people starve, cry, and beg for food while politicians argue about how to manage the sudden influx of refugees. And it's frustrating because it feels real. It's exactly what would happen if something like this hit us today. The people in charge would scramble, resources would run out, and regular folks would pay the price. We also see Armin's arc begin here. He's weaker than Aang, but he's also thoughtful. And even though he gets bullied, he shows a spark of bravery, just in a quieter way. He wants to believe humanity can fight back, but he's also realistic about how slim their chances are. I like how episode 2 starts setting up Armin as more than just the weak one. He's the thinker. And in a show like this, that role is just as important as swinging swords. Humor break, because again, this show will crush your soul if you don't laugh at least once. Imagine being one of those poor refugees who just carried everything you own into wall rows, only to find out the breadline is 2 hours long and someone already ate the last. Potato. Yeah, Sasha. Potato Girl fans, I see you. We'll get to her later. But this episode sets the stage for exactly why characters like her matter. Let me throw this one out to you guys. If you were living inside the walls and saw Titans break through for the first time, do you think you'd run, freeze, or fight? Be honest, I'd love to. Read your comments and see how many of you think you'd actually swing a sword at a 15-meter. Episode 3 is where the series shifts tone. After 2 episodes of shock and despair, we finally see humanity trying to prepare for its future. And Mikasa and Armin join cadet training, and we get introduced to a whole lineup of new characters who will become central to the story. And this is also the moment where one of my personal favorites steps into the spotlight, Sasha Blouse. If you've been here long enough, you know, Sasha isn't just one of my favorite characters in Attack on Titan. She's probably my favorite in the entire show. Her introduction is legendary. Everyone else is terrified of the drill sergeant, standing at attention, and then there's Sasha, happily eating a baked potato like she's at a picnic instead of boot camp. When she casually offers him half the potato as if that makes it better. Comedy gold. But beyond the laugh, that scene says a lot about who she is. She's impulsive, she's hungry, and she's not going to let fear steal her humanity. Now, here's why Sasha hits home for me personally. I've had times in my life where I struggled badly to eat regularly. There were days where food wasn't guaranteed and hunger was just part of life. So when I see Sasha clutching that potato like it's treasure, I get it. That moment isn't just funny to me, it's relatable. It's that feeling of holding on to something small and human in a world that's trying to take everything from you. But episode 3 isn't all jokes and potatoes. This is where the cadets get their first taste of how brutal their training will be. Drill sergeants bark orders, cadets collapse under pressure, and the bravado some of them had starts to crumble. Un is obsessed, pushing himself harder than anyone else. Mikasa is already at the top of the class, proving she's built different. Armin struggles, but he doesn't quit. And you can tell his strength is going to come from a different place, his mind. The anime takes its time with this training arc compared to the manga, letting us bond with these characters instead of rushing past them. And that's smart, because when the story gets dark again, and trust me, it will, those bonds make the losses hit harder. Yes, a lot of the cadets come off as bratty or cocky here, but that's part of the design. They think they're strong. They think they're ready. Episode 3 sets them up as kids who have no idea what real terror is yet. And when that reality comes crashing down, we'll remember these early days. So let me ask you guys, did Sasha's potato scene make you laugh the first time you saw it? Or did you, like me, feel something deeper in it too? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know how you connected with. Episodes 4 through 6 really dive deep into the cadet training arc, and while they don't have the shock value of the Titan attacks, they're crucial for building the foundation of the characters we'll be following. Episode 4 focuses on Eren's big struggle with the vertical maneuvering gear. At first, he just can't get it to work. And for a hot second, it looks like all his talk about fighting Titans is just that, talk. Watching him dangle helplessly, while everyone else gets it right, is both funny and painful. It's the anime's way of humbling him, and honestly, he needed it. But what I love about this is the payoff. Arn doesn't quit. He figures it out, and that moment of success is small, but it sets the tone for his entire character. He's not naturally gifted like Mikasa. He's stubborn, and he earns every inch through sheer willpower. Episode 5 shifts back into character introductions. We get a clearer look at the rest of the cadets. Reiner with his big brother energy, Bertolt, who's quieter but steady, Annie with her calm and intimidating presence, and of course Chang, who quickly sets himself up as Aaron's rival. Their clashing is hilarious sometimes. Shang just wants a safe, cushy life in the military police, while En is all about revenge and freedom. The contrast between those goals makes their arguments both funny and really important because it represents the split in how people view the Titans. Some want to fight, some want to hide. By episode 6, we're starting to see growth across the board. The cadets go from a scattered group of bratty kids to something closer to a team. The training pushes them, bonds start forming, and the show subtly reminds us that these relationships will matter later when things get dark again. The anime does a great job of fleshing these interactions out more than the manga. The manga hits the basics, but the anime slows down just enough so you feel like you know these people as individuals, not just cannon fodder. And I'll be honest, some of these moments hit me personally. Watching Eren struggle with gear and almost fail reminded me of times I've had to adapt to something that felt impossible at first in my own life. Whether it's figuring out new challenges with my wheelchair or just pushing through days where things didn't seem fair, I see a little of myself in Eren's stubbornness. He doesn't win because he's talented. He wins because he refuses to stop trying. So episodes the 4th to the 6th of may not have Titans stomping on people, but they matter. They give us the first real look at who these cadets are, how they think, and why they fight. And it sets the stage for what's coming, their first real mission. Question for you guys, during this training arc, which cadet stood out to you the most? Was it Sasha being Sasha, Eren's determination, or maybe Annie's cold, calm demeanor? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious who grabbed your attention early on. And that brings us to the end of episodes 1 through 6 of Attack on Titan Season 1. Looking back, these episodes are all about setting the stage. The brutality of episodes 1 and 2 shows us the true horror of Titans, while episodes 3 through 6 shift into character building, training, and the bonds that will carry these cadets into the battles ahead. Episode 1 will always stand out as one of the most unforgettable pilots in anime. From the Colossal Titan's first appearance to the heartbreaking death of Eren's mom, it hits you like a freight train. It's brutal, raw, and honestly hard to watch, but it's also what makes this series so powerful. That helplessness, that rage, that desire for freedom. It all starts there. Episodes 2 and onward remind us that the world doesn't stop spinning just because tragedy strikes. People have to move, eat, survive, and that survival comes with politics, shortages, and tough decisions. And then we get the cadets, kids with dreams, flaws, and plenty of bratty moments that make you want to roll your eyes. But that's the point. These kids aren't soldiers yet. They're still figuring out who they are. And yes, I have to give a special shout out again to Sasha from her very first potato scene. She proved to me why she's my favorite character in this show. Not because she's the strongest or the smartest, but because she brings humanity to a world that tries so hard to strip it away. As someone who's had my own struggles with food, I connect to her in a way that's deeper than just a funny moment. It's a reminder that sometimes joy, laughter, and holding on to small comforts are just as important as swinging swords. Now, as we move forward into the next set of episodes, things are going to get heavier again. The cadets will be tested in ways training never prepared them for, and we'll start seeing who can rise to the challenge and who can't. Calm is about to shatter, and if you thought the first Titan attack was bad, just wait. So, should you watch episodes 1 to 6? Absolutely. Even if you find some of the kids bratty, even if Eren's yelling grates on you, this block of episodes is essential. It lays the emotional foundation for everything that comes later. Without this setup, the heartbreak and triumphs that follow wouldn't hit nearly as hard. Now it's your turn. What moment from episodes 1 to 6 hit you the hardest? Was it Aaron's mom, Sasha's potato? Or maybe Anne dangling helplessly during gear training? Let me know in the comments. I love seeing which parts of this series stick with you the most. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. This is just the beginning of the series, and I'm excited to keep breaking it down with you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a potato girl in the comments so I know you're part of the crew who stayed until the end. Next time, we're tackling episodes 7 through 11, and trust me, things are about to get bloody.